Good morning.
Good morning. Morning, all. Hope we're doing well. Right on time.
There's a lot of faces I recognize.
There we go. Happy Monday. Oh, it's not Happy Tuesday. Oh, forgive me. I was just running this session 12 hours ago at the studio. Morning, Jen.
Good morning.
Rachel. We have two Rachels again. Morning, Kevin.
Morning.
Mark. So we have a lot of familiar faces and a handful of maybe some newcomers for the first time this morning. We always do our best to try and get started within the first 5 minutes. So if you're just getting on and taking strokes, you can take some strokes, get stretched out. We'll give you like 5 minutes from now. Being that it's the first session or so, like if you have questions or anything, let me know. If we get started a couple minutes late because we're just getting things situated, that's fine. If there's anyone not using ErgZone, let me know so we can just sort of talk about either how to set it up or how to follow along. But what we're in for, 6 minutes on, 2 minutes off today. 6 minutes on, 2 minutes off, all steady state. So very simple, very straightforward. No complicated, nothing's complicated. Every stroke we're running this morning is at 16 strokes a minute. If we notice endurance camp, week one, live one, it says 7 by 6 minutes steady state. So we are running 6 minutes on, 2 minutes off. The intervals are set inside of ErgZone as variable or undefined rest. So it's not going to count down the 2 minutes, it's going to count up the rest. Before we get started on the next minute set, or the next 6 minute set, I'm going to say, all right, rowers, let's make our way back to the ergs. Let's go ahead and get our feet tapped in. Let's pick up the handles. Let's slide up to the catch, sit ready. Push the button on the erg to continue. Ready, all, row. Okay. You should have received your SPI report. If you did the orientation with us this weekend and we established your baseline SPI, we should have received that report and we should have taken that average SPI and put it into the benchmark area inside of ErgZone. Again, I know
Stephen, this is Jennifer. I can't get on ErgZone because I've got a water rower and I did not receive the SPI.
Gotcha. Give me just a moment while I take a look through our files and see what's up. Catherine, I will get you added to the track in just a second.
And I'm trying to figure out how to get my video to work.
Okay, got you.
And I did the SPI yesterday because I was sick for the last week, but I haven't gotten the report, but I did the math, so I think I know what I'm supposed to do today.
Okay, and that'll work. If you'll get a report later on. If it's different, we'll just update it. But if you did the math, that's close enough for today. Like you're only going to be off by a tenth or something, if anything. Amanda, give me a moment. Yeah, if we won that orientation, you might find, like I'm adding you to the track now. Amanda, you now have access. Ashton, you're good. Does anyone else not have access to the ErgZone track?
I don't this morning.
You always should. We never remove it. You may have a filter set. So what I want you to do is, you see underneath the, what do you see under in ErgZone, Rachel?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just don't have I do. I'm just not connected to a PM5 this morning.
Oh, don't sweat it. That's okay. Don't sweat that.
I didn't do the SPI thing. So will you give me a quick rundown of approximately where I'm supposed to be?
Yes, give me just a few minutes and I'll run that for you.
Or just you can say a zone too. Yeah.
What's that, Katie? Sorry, one more time.
You can just go by zone too, and I can.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So we're gonna basically, Katie, 16 strokes a minute, just under zone 1 on your SPI. Okay.
Oh, the whole time?
Yep. So I'm gonna do that now. It's common we get started a few minutes late in the first session, so don't sweat it, especially with the number of rowers we have on here. 7 by 6 minutes on, 2 minutes off. 7 by 6 minutes on, 2 minutes off. ErgZone says 71 to 78% of your SPI. Erg zone is programmed at 16 strokes a minute. It's going to say, we're rowing this at 16 strokes a minute, and it's programmed at 74% SPI. So when you have the workout pulled up, as I have displayed on your phone, it'll tell you what watts to pull at what stroke rating. Everything we're doing this morning is 15 to 17 strokes a minute, 71 to 78% of your SPI. So the watt target that Erg Zone displays for you, as long as you're 5 to 10 above or below it, or if you're looking at splits, you're 1 to 2 splits within the range, you are in business. It's not about being exact. It's about being approximately above or below the target at the appropriate range or a stroke rating. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions? Jen, I got yours. You're good to go. Got your message. Anyone at all? And just so I'm going to give you guys a 2-minute warning. If you're not in Erg Zone on week 1, live 1, let's get that loaded up. If you're following along and you have the ability to set it up, we'll set it up for 6 minutes on, 2 minutes off. But this is a steady state workout. It's not critical that we're all right on time and rigid with everything. We're taking about 8 to 10,000 meters worth of 16 strokes a minute, loose and long strokes. That is the goal for this morning. We might get into more complicated workouts later on in camp, but for today, we're looking to set a nice baseline rhythm of 16 strokes a minute. Okay. One final note, just because I know we're educating some people on SPI. If my SPI test was a 10 and I put 10 inside of Erg Zone, it's programmed at 74% of my SPI. So my SPI today is going to be 7.4%, or just 7.4. If I multiply 7.4 times 16 strokes per minute, my watt target is 118. It is that simple in terms of the math working appropriately. If you're 17 strokes a minute, your watts should be a little higher. If you're 15 strokes a minute, your watts should be a little lower. That is the last little note I'm going to mention so that we can try and get it started. Very likely today, we're not going to get 7 by 6 in. We're probably going to get 6 by 6 in, unless, of course, there's enough on the group that want to stick around and do the whole thing. I'm not going anywhere. Okay? With all those words said, forgive me, I'm going to start making the call as to who's at the starting line. Basically, who is good to go in Erg Zone. All right? If you're not using Erg Zone, don't sweat it. You'll start with us. At the starting line, I've had Rachel, Bill, Katie, Jen, Amanda, Susan, Kevin, Ira, Catherine, Scott, Ashton, Jill, Amy. If I didn't call your name and you're not using Erg Zone, that's why. Thank y'all for being such good sports, making this easy for me this morning. Nothing better than coxing 15 to 20 people first thing in the morning, I gotta tell you. Even if we're not in boats, I'm gonna enjoy this stuff. If you have any questions, now will be the good time, the last time. I will go ahead and put you guys on mute before we get started so you don't have to worry about getting up. All we're looking for today, you guys are all in your own singles. We're going out, we're spinning 16 strokes a minute for the next hour.
Steven, I think I'm hooked up. Can you just check? It's Mark.
I have you there, Mark. You're there. You're there. Late to the line, but I got you.
Warming up.
Won't start without you. All right, we are going to go ahead and get started. We are going to go ahead and get started. I also can see the target watts on my end, so I'll throw some reminders your way. I can see a lot more than just the target watts too. So hopefully I am just here to help you get there. Last call, we're going to go on mute. Welcome. Nice to see so many smiling faces. Let's go ahead and slide up to the catch, pick up the handles and sit ready. Hips are back, hands are high, chin up, chest up, relax the shoulders and arms. Remember, 16 strokes a minute right off the bat, rowers, ready, all row. A lot of times 16 is pretty slow or slower than we're used to running. Let's work hard to try and get that rating down to that 16. We like the 16 exaggerating. The recovery sequence, the drive sequence really forces you sort of Get into each part of the drive, each part of the recovery. Let the arms get away. Let's establish our length. Let's pivot in the hips. Get the hips back behind us and control the slide into that catch. Really, really important on body prep. Getting the head and shoulders in front of the hips before we slide. You're going to hear pivot, pivot, pivot. Checking the neck, arms, and shoulders. Staying relaxed as we reach. Slight bend in the elbows just to ensure the arms are relaxed. We're not squeezing the handle. Patience around the back end too, right? No need for fast hands away. Hands coming away the same speed they're coming in. We like to say, relax before you recover. And if you didn't get a great warm-up this morning, that's okay. We're just running a steady state, no high intensity. If we're doing any harder pieces, I'll encourage you to show up, warmed up and ready to go. But for now, let's just loosen up the joints. Lengthen out those hamstrings as we get warm. Let's focus on posture, staying tall, but remaining relaxed here. A lot of 15, 16 strokes a minute across the board. Great work, rowers. Solid work there, Katie. You have an SPI in your profile, Katie. So according to that SPI, your target watts are 18. So you're going to go 74% of your SPI. It's 118 out of 16, Katie. Focus on getting loose and long there, Ashkin. I know for the gentlemen early in the morning, those hamstrings and lower back typically pretty tight here. Always affecting our drive length. So as we get loose, we focus on getting long. Sit up nice and tall as we come from the lay back to body over. Keeping the head high, shoulders relaxed. I always like to say, I want to be able to see your neck because we're looking over top of the monitor. Spine is long, but the shoulders are just hanging on, the neck and arms relaxed. Putting the weight to the feet every time we get to the catch. The catches happen down in the feet. Pushing the catches away, leveraging off the foot stretcher, catch to finish. Find that length there, Mark. Ira, loosen it up. Keeping the arms long through the leg drive, right? We don't want to see any bent elbows while those knees are bent. Arms are loose and long. We're hanging from the bones, hanging from the torso as we drive from the hips. Every time we take that catch, we're transferring the weight off of the seat and down to the feet. We want to make sure we're hanging on the handle as we come into 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left, make sure we're relaxed there. Feeling strong there, Bill, early. Remember, we're looking for about low 70% on the SPI. If your SPI is accurate, Bill, you're running 94%, so we're a little high. Let's focus on lightening the load, staying loose and long, catch to finish. Looking solid there, Katie. Right on target, drive length looks good. Sitting up nice and tall there, Kevin. Working for the 140, working for the 140 watts there, but patient and long through that recovery. Nice long strokes there, Catherine. Looking good. As we take the catch, we keep it focused down in the feet, as we said before. Keep it focused down in the lower body. Make sure we're not shrugging the shoulders as we take the catch. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Less than a minute here, coming into about the last 10 strokes. Listen to the fans now, catch the finish. Again, we're looking for long strokes. You should be able to hear that fan getting loud, louder, loudest. Catch the finish. Listen to it here over these next 30 seconds. Hold the knees, get the body over, get the handle in front of the knees before we lift them. Big pivot in the hips, pivot the hips. And we're on that paddle. We are on that paddle. If you are on a PM5, you're going to notice the rest is counting up. Don't press any buttons. Resist the urge to press any buttons. We're going to give you about 2 minutes inactive rest here, about 2 minutes, and we're going to make our way back. If you have any questions, let me know.
Steven, Rachel Friedman. I just realized I realized like a minute in, I don't actually know my watts for this zone.
I'm going to get you right now.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Just do a little bit of quick math. And I'll do this with you guys just because it's kind of nice. Again, nice sit up. And I'm just going to use the SPI off of erg zone, not necessarily off the report, right? But if we
Yeah.
SPI test it here,
Yeah.
at 7, I'm going to take 7 times 0.74. I'm going to take that as, because that's 74% of the SPI. I'm going to take that SPI and I'm going to multiply it times my stroke rate, 83 on the watts.
Oh, okay. It was a little too high, a little too hot on the first one. Thanks.
Probably, yeah. And you'll notice that. And as we run through a lot of these workouts, you'll definitely find, you're like, oh, I ran 85% on the first one. I'm starting to feel it in pieces 3, 4, and 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I don't mind doing the math on that. The math can always be done if we don't have erg zone or a PM5. We just got to plug the numbers in a little bit.
And
Thank you.
Stephen, sorry, what is it for Jennifer Dumas or Jen D?
Give me one more second. We've got 30 seconds, rowers, making your way back to the ergs. I got you, Jen. We do this all the time in terms of the quick math. Oh, I'm gonna have to look yours up, Jen, because I forgot yours wasn't in erg zone. Just give me like, we're gonna get started and I'll find the file and I'll tell you what the number is before we go, okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Absolutely no problem at all. All right, rowers, that's the 2 minutes. So as I mentioned, let's make our way back to the ergs. And I appreciate you guys being patient with me running the numbers and everything this morning. Really do. If you're on erg zone, feet strapped in, picking up the handle, slide up to the catch. Press the button on the erg that says press here to continue. Press here for more fun. Let's sit ready. We're just going to pick it up here, Rachel. Ready, all. Row. 16 strokes a minute, we're on. We do undefined rest for some of the intervals because if your clocks get off by a few seconds, we're just going to start together. It is never a big deal if you start a little late or a little early. Erg zone and your ergs will always capture that data. And I'm going to figure out your numbers now, Jen. Bear with me. Again, rowers, we're running 15 to 17 strokes a minute. It doesn't need to be perfect on the 16, but if you're like me, park it at one rate, park it at one output. "16 strokes a minute, loose, long, and relaxed." Let's focus on consistency. Big pivot of the hips, big pivot of the hips. We want to see a big body swing. Get the shoulders in front of the hips before those knees raise. Get the handle out in front of the shins, out over the socks before we start that slide. We want a big forward body angle. We have to position the hips in order to press. Staying plugged into the feet for as long as we can. We want to stay out of the upper body as much as we can, so we got to let those legs work, typically longer than we think we should. Chin up, chest up at the finish there, Ashton. Great posture beginning at that finish. Stay tall. Don't let gravity bring you down. Chin up, chest up as we slide into that catch. Nice work there, Susan. Sitting up nice and tall, catching down into the feet. If I were just looking at the arms and the shoulders and the handle, I don't want to be able to tell you're taking the catch. We want it all to happen from the hips. As a coxswain, my favorite calls, quiet bodies, no extra movement here. If the movement doesn't contribute to the output, get rid of it. From the neck, arms, and shoulders, we're very still. We're isolating and prioritizing the press every time. Suspend and send, suspend and send. Every time we drive the feet, hang into the handle. Approaching that 2-minute mark one more time, focusing on drive length here. It's not just how far we reach into the catch or how long we bring the handle back into the body. It's how long we're actually putting force into the fan. So it's got to be heavy catch to finish in order to effectively add power into the machine or effectively move the boat. So let's focus on what it feels like catch to finish. We can't just get the hands to the catch. We've got to get a hold of it. Got to add watts. Back end acceleration, back end acceleration. If the handle is traveling into the body, we're picking up speed, taking the focus off of the handle. Focus on accelerating the shoulders and the elbows. Load the hips, do the heavy lifting with the legs. Accelerate to the finish. Complete the drive before we begin that recovery. About 45 seconds. Stay tall to finish there. We're laying back, not laying down. Keep the chin up, chest up. More importantly, keep that belly button up as we come into the finish there. Last couple strokes.
I think I did my calculation wrong. I calculated the SPI and then took 71 to 78% of the actual watts. But based on what you just did for Rachel, I think that gives me too high a number.
Yeah, and actually, oddly enough, Susan, let me make sure I was looking at the right number for Rachel, because you guys, if it looks like you both SPI tested at the exact same SPI, so you have the same target.
All right, Susan.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, USPI tested at about 7 according to ErgZone. So, Rachel, what did I tell you your target was? 89, 88, something like that?
87, 89-ish.
Yeah. So that would be your target, Susan, at 16.
Okay, that would be much better because my heart rate's been going, well, my heart rate's high because of my cold, but yeah, okay.
But if you feel like you're working a little hard, that is very much likely why. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And Jen, I'm still waiting on your report from Justin. Bear with me. I can't seem to find it on our shared thing. But
So it was 85 I should do?
87, 88 around there.
Okay, got it.
And again, this system, you know, once you understand it, it's very simple to sort of apply to every stroke we take. In the early stages, just ask those questions, and as we run through the math, you'll definitely understand it. What we do is apply the percentage to the actual SPI to reduce the SPI, multiply that times our stroke rate for the target watts. And we're about at 2 minutes here. We're about at 2 minutes. I'm going to call some pauses through the first 90 seconds of this next section. So we're going to make our way back to the ergs and get started. Making our way back. And I apologize, Jen, that I'm still waiting on your numbers. Bear with me. Making our way back to the ergs. Feet strapped in. Picking up the handles. Press the button on the erg to continue. Sitting ready. Ready all. Go. Swinging it out. And again, if you find that you're more comfortable at 15 instead of 16, perfectly fine. You're just going to take a couple of watts off of your goal, off of your output, off of your target, or you'll add a split if you're using splits. Nice body prep there, Jen, on the way into the catch. Got a good forward lean and the hips are back. Just make sure that as we slide forward into the catch, we keep that body angle. Don't let the hips get too close to the heels. Keeping the hips back, head and shoulders in front of the hips, always in and out of that catch. We take a lot of time to prepare the body, get the hips and the body in the right position. Don't lose it as we slide forward into the catch. Good work there, Susan. Focusing on accelerating the elbows towards the finish line. Sometimes we see some people lift the elbows a little too much, get a little bit shruggy in the shoulders. I like to say, just send it all to the finish line. Everything we're accelerating is moving in the right direction. We're never accelerating into the catch, right? We're never going the wrong direction. 15, 16, 17 strokes a minute. Nice work there, Thais. Nice to see you also. Susan, Thais, Rachel, pulling all about the same watts there. Going to throw you in the same boat together. Patient and relaxed. Remember, it's a steady state. This is intended to feel smooth and in control and easy. If you're huffing and puffing and you're finding that heart rate is climbing more than it should be, we'll back off the press just a little bit. Focus on what we're doing. Finish the catch. A lot of time in between strokes, so control the breathing. Relax before we recover. Posture, posture, posture. But make sure that posture doesn't come with tension. We want to stay tall through the midsection, grow the core, as Coach Justin says, grow the core, sitting nice and tall, lengthen that spine. But everything on top of that spine is relaxed. Shoulders just hanging. We're loose and long. We're not bracing or getting tense in the neck and shoulders as we take the catch. right? For my on-water rowers, we're thinking, reaching out of the boat, getting nice and long, keeping the hands high, getting the blades in the water, and then staying connected as long as possible. Complete the drive before we begin that recovery. Length is strength here. Just make sure we're staying relaxed on the way through it. Heart rate's creeping, Katie, just a little bit, but if that feels good for you, stay right on target, stay right on target. Again, focused on relaxing the neck, arms, and shoulders, relaxing the elbows at the finish. Everything relaxes before we begin that recovery. But whenever we talk about posture, don't sit tense at the release. Exhale, breathe, relax before you recover. Use that monitor as a guide. Looking over top of the monitor, staying tall, or at least staying level. Little to no vertical movement inside the boat, on top of the ergs. We're not bouncing around. Nice work there, Friedman. Good work there, Rachel. Just hanging a little looser through those elbows. Late to the arm draw, late to the lean. Thinking about shoving the erg away from the hips. We're leg pressing, we're pushing the erg across the room. Suspend through the leg drive, send through the acceleration of the upper body. Suspend and send. If we're in the boat, we like to say bend it and send it. Get locked into that catch, really put a lot of force to the feet, get the weight hanging on the handle, and accelerate it to the finish line. We're 30 seconds here, about 30 seconds to the finish. Keep it smooth and accelerated through these last few strokes. And we are on the rest on the paddle, on the rest on the paddle. Jen, in trying to interpret some of the data from that machine, it was like I'm having a hard time finding the actual intervals. You are muted real quick. There you go.
Yeah, I did too, which is why I sent you the TCX file as well.
Yeah, that TCX file only sent me a bunch of text.
Oh,
Now let me ask you, and it might display something. So like when you're looking, you set it up as intervals. I see that. I see the intervals on there.
yep.
But does it give you a split number or a watt number or a power number in terms of watts?
It will give me the split number. It will give me the watt number. Currently, I'm looking at watts.
Well, are you able to pull up the watt number for each of those 5 intervals? Because that's what's
No,
not
I mean the
included.
problem is storing the history, storing the workout,
Gotcha.
and then
Gotcha.
displaying the workout after you've done it.
Okay, I understand now. So what I'll do, Jen, I'm gonna if you don't mind, I'll go back and do a little bit of research into seeing how this how your like performance monitor displays stuff and stores stuff, and if I could find any way to sort of help retrieve that data,
Yeah.
I'll shoot you an email. Okay, will that work?
Yeah, that would absolutely work. The other thing is apparently I can save it on Strava. Does Strava help you guys?
Maybe, but I need to look and make sure that the interval data is what's
Yeah.
saved. I'll find
Yeah.
out and I'll let you know. Okay, Jen?
Okay, because I had a membership to Strava and then I dropped it, but I can pick it back up if that helps this.
Let me see if I can find out and I'll follow up with you.
Great. Thank you.
No problem at all. No problem at all. Definitely. Rowers, that's the 2 minutes, but I'm going to do those pauses that I never ended up doing last time. So let's go ahead and pick up the handles. Relax. Steady state. Picking up the handles. Slide up to the catch. Press the button on the erg to continue. Sit up nice and tall. Take one stroke, pause at the finish. Ready, y'all? Row. Find your posture. Sitting up nice and tall. We're laid back slightly. Susan, relax those elbows and shoulders. Super relaxed. Let's go arms away. Long, but don't lock those elbows. Let's go body over. Haul it long. And if you're not reaching for the watts, let's reach for them. There we go, Rachel. Let's take one stroke, catch to finish. And I want you to pause at the finish. Ready? Row. Longest stroke you could possibly take and pause at that finish. Be still. Be still. Holy smokes. Look at these drive lengths. Arms out, body over. Joe Barker, you just pulled a 1.62. I didn't know you were that tall. Nice and tall. Sit up, loose and long and relaxed. One stroke, catch to finish. Rope. It's not about moving through the drive quickly. It's about getting locked and staying locked for as long as possible. Arms away. Heavy elbows, relax. Don't lock them. Don't squeeze the handle. Body over. Pivot the hips. I should see the seat scoot behind you a little bit because we pivot in the hips. One stroke, catch to finish. Ready, row. Get out, get long, get a hold of it, and send it. Arms out, body over. Lots of distance between the hips and the hands. Pull your booties to the finish line. Row. Everything stops at the finish because everything is going towards the finish line. Now, arms out, body over, hips behind us. You're not actually bringing the body over, rowers. You're bringing the hips back. One stroke, row. Think about it. What direction is the boat moving? The boat, the body, and the blades are all going to the finish line. Let's go arms out, body over. Pull the boat to the finish line. Think about that. 16 strokes a minute, steady state. Ready, y'all. Row. So every time you finish the drive, you let that momentum send. Every time we bring the bodies over, we drag the rear ends to the finish line. Pull the boat towards the finish line. If all of your competitors are sending their body and their mass to the start, well, why don't we send all of our body, our mass, and our momentum to the place we're trying to go, which is the finish? Think about it and be aware of where we're going and how we're getting there. A strong drive depends on a well-connected catch. A well-connected catch depends on body prep, anticipation, being prepped and ready to go. Hi, Thais. Bye, Thais. Hope you have a great day. Body prep, big pivot. Big pivot and prep. We're prepped on the way into the catch so we can press. Every step in the drive and recovery sequence depends on the step before it. We don't get to step 3 without steps 1 and 2. So let's lengthen with the arms. Everything follows the handle to the catch. Everything follows the handle to the catch. Rachel Friedman, I'm loving the length and the body angle. Definitely kept that idea of reaching for the watts. And we always want to reach for the watts, but we don't want to compromise other parts of the stroke for more length. Everything is a balance, right? We don't want to go so long that we lose our posture and get into a weak position. We don't want to sit so upright in a perfect position that we get tense and lose our length. Big pivot. Make sure that the body is prepped and ready to go by half slide. No last minute changes. If your coach tells you to get the blade in the water, you're late at the catch. Well, we got to arrive ready, anticipate. Let those hands come up as we arrive into the catch. And push the catches away. Hands just a little bit higher at the catch there, Katie Limbaugh. Just a little bit higher at the catch, barely. Like 1 inch higher at the catch, you should feel that connection. A little bit of a change in drive length. 1.6, nice work. And we're coming into 1 more minute here. Last minute. show me where the finish is. Show me where the release is. I don't want the hands to be moving in and away so fast that they're blurry on the screen. I want you to hit that finish and then let those hands come away. It's almost like a micro pause. I don't want you to think of it as a pause though. Just show me where the drive ends, catch the finish. Nice work there, Rachel. Rachel H. And a lot of Rachels. A lot of Rachels and Michelles. Stay tall there, Amanda Walker. Staying tall. Lay back. Don't lay down. Right? Don't bounce that bow ball up and down. We'll talk about that in 2 weeks when you're down here. Everything horizontal. Nice and tall there, Ashton. Looking good there, Bill. Relaxing the shoulders. Last couple strokes to our break. And we're on 2 minutes. We're on 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. And we are just going to pack in. I mean, again, we can do the 7 if enough of you want to stick around, but we'll likely, when we finish the next 2, it'll be right on time. All right. Take this rest here. You have 90 seconds. You got about 2 minutes off. You have about 2 minutes off here. That would totally help me out, Ray. It's going to take me a while to get used to, though. It's either nicknames or last names. The nicknames or last names. That's going to start to happen. Right. Sort of how we often talk about varying our output. Now, often, I don't want to say often, how we always talk about varying our output. Like everything is always a percentage of the max. Right? You can go as hard as you can for a minute, but anytime we go longer than a minute, it's going to be a percentage of that output. So we just like to think of our SPI as kind of a 1 rep max. Like for any weightlifters out there, it's usually a pretty easier thing to understand. Like our SPI is our 1 rep max. So we train as a percentage of that 1 rep max, various distances and intensities to try and move that in the right direction. And the really nice thing about SPI, this work per stroke idea, is that it's a metric that can be applied across all stroke ratings. All right, if you're interested in any other information about it, like let us know. But Dr. Valery Kleshnev, the guy in charge of BioRow, this whole idea behind work per stroke, brilliant. Anyways, now that I'm done geeking out about rowing terms, go ahead and get our feet strapped in. Here we go. We're going to make our way back. We have 2 more rowers, 2 more. And when I say it's the last one, we don't need to break any record. This is a steady state row today. We're just cruising. Slide up to the catch, pick up the handles. Press the button on the urn to continue. We're getting right into this steady state. Don't get left behind. Ready, all. Go. And you're all in your own boats here, settling into your own pace, settling into your own stroke, your own rhythm, your own length, your own target. Great posture begins at that finish. Make sure we're staying tall. Good work there, Jen. JP, nice and relaxed, looking good. Keeping it as relaxed as we can. Nice and long arms there, Amy. Reaching long with the hands high out to the catch. They used to say, pretend it's hot potato with that handle. That handle needs to be as far out away from the body as possible. And that's the first thing that happens out of the release is we just create space between the hands. Let the shoulders follow. It's almost like we're actively pushing the handle into the catch. And for any sweep rowers out there, you know, it's really sort of what it feels like when we rotate and push the handle out around the rigger, right? We want to actively get the hands way out in front, watch the handle travel exactly where it needs to go. Getting the hands and hips into the right position on the way into the catch. So the only thing happening is we apply pressure to the feet. There's a scale underneath the bottom of the feet on the erg, and this is the only place and the only time we want to see that scale go up. Every time we get to the catch, force to the feet, stand up on the scale, hang to the handle. We have to transfer the weight off of the seat down into the feet by hanging on the hands. We can only establish proper suspension connection and load if we're in the right position. Position first, then power. Probably not speed at endurance camp, but you know, when we get there. Thinking about the finishes here. If we're not really thinking about our breathing just yet, let's work an exhale around the finish. As you draw the arms in, breathe, blow it away. I like to use that breath at the finish to remind myself to relax before I recover. That's what that little micro pause is about. It's about just separating the drive and the intensity from the work to the recovery and relax, right? Technically, you can only slow the boat down on the recovery. So slow it down as little as possible. Don't disturb the boat. Nothing on top of the erg or inside of the boat is moving around quickly or aggressively. We're just spinning the fan. Boats are moving. You guys are in control. Nice drive length there, Bill Ashkin. Bill Ashkin, very solid work, looking smooth and long, catch to finish. Nice and tall there, Kevin, Mark. Kevin, Mark, Ira, show me a big pivot of the hips. Exaggerate the pivot. Get the hips back. Keep the hips away from the heels. Still nice and long there, Katie. Good work there, Jill Barker. Nice work there, Jill. And Catherine, looking smooth. Great work. Bouncing it around a little bit, Amanda. Catch to finish on that drive length. So let's focus on what's happening catch to finish. Once we're connected, listen to it. Make sure we're hanging on all the way to the finish. Complete that drive. Yeah, show me the finish, Amanda. I think we talked about this back in fall camp. Show me that finish. Complete it. Complete it. Here we go. There's 6 centimeters. Oh, there's 3 more centimeters. There you go, Amanda. That's the stroke. That's the stroke. 148. There's 3 more. Great work. Great work. We're coming into this last minute on this next set. Coming into 1 more minute on this set. Scott Baker sitting up nice and tall. Sitting up nice and tall. And good work there, Susan. Relaxing those elbows around that finish. Relax. Nice work there. Good work, Ray, Jen, JP, Amy. 45 seconds now. Send the puddles, send the puddles. Send the fan spinning. As you complete that drive, I should hear that fan go whiz louder. Pushing puddles. Ergzone now actually displays distance per stroke. So the idea of pushing puddles, well, your SPI is higher, you're getting more distance per stroke. Same thing here. If we can get more watts per stroke, we're going to get more meters per stroke. Focus through these last 3 to 4 strokes here. And we're on that relaxed. Nice work. Ashkin, you're probably feeling it a little more than you should. I know you like to work hard though. 83% SPI will yield 94% heart rate. right? So we can start to see this a little bit.
So I actually got the version of ErgZone that I can see the stroke length on my as I'm doing it.
Yep.
I'm 5'6". It looked like mine. I did a couple that were like 1.42, but most were like 1.3.
Yeah. I'm looking at your average 138, 139, 136, 141, and 136. You said you're 5'6". I mean, I would say ideally we'd like to keep you at or above 1.4 at
Okay.
at 5'6". Use
Okay.
that as a small little goal for now.
Okay.
And then yeah, so we've got 1 more minute on the rest, and I'll talk a little bit about that. If you've seen the reports from Justin, even if you haven't when you do see them, and so Jen, I'll find your numbers because it's different. But what we send is a your SPI, your drive length, and your force through each of those 5 stroke ratings compared to 400 other SPI tests of our clients. So what's cool about that is you can compare yourself and see where you stand against the top third of people performing on their drive length, the bottom third, and so on. So if you're really solid through 16, 20, and 24, but you're weak up at 28 and 32, that's an opportunity for us. So I just, just knowing what all the information and data means. We got to get going because it's time. It's been 2 minutes. I've been talking too much this morning. Forgive me, my fault. I need to do better at that, Coxon. Don't give me a microphone. Make your way back to the ergs. Feet strapped in. Pressing the button to continue. Sitting ready. Ready, y'all. Go. Ashkin, have a great day. Have a great day. Nice to see you. $15, $16, $17 strokes a minute. Back to that idea of the body over. Bodies aren't coming over. You're pulling the boat, you're pulling the hips, you're pulling the bow ball to the finish line. Hips back, hands out. Arms long now. If I pause your video mid-drive, I don't want to see bent knees and bent elbows now. Making you think, I know, making you think. Load the hips and accelerate the shoulders. Load the hips and accelerate the shoulders. The arms will come with them, I promise. The arms are going to come with those shoulders. There we go, Ray. I like it. I like it. Isolate and prioritize the press. Isolate the push. I don't know about you, but I would not want to put my arms against my legs in battle. So I would not want to be pulling with my arms if my legs were pressing against me. We're all about leveraging the hip hinge, all about using the glutes to really toss the shoulders back. Load the hips, accelerate the shoulders. Show me the finish there, Amanda. Show me the finish. I don't want to see any vertical movement of the hands up or down at that finish. Just straight into one spot, straight away. Straight in, straight away. Solid work. 2 minutes down, 4 to go. 2 minutes down, 4 to go. Hold those knees as we get the body over. Hold the knees as we get the body over. Don't be early to get on the slide. Looking solid there, Joe. Nice work, Joe Barker. Good work, Bill. Bill, head high, shoulders relaxed. And again, stay plugged into the push for longer than we think we should. Let's get those legs down 60, 65, 70% before we start to lean. Keeping the wrists flat as we draw them into the body. Don't break those wrists now. Just continue moving the elbows towards the finish line. Reaching for the watts. Sit up nice and tall. Tall and long, tall and long. Catching down into the feet. We're not lifting the body off of the legs at the catch, right? When we're at the catch, we're not lifting the body up off the legs. We're driving the legs away from us. Don't lock the elbows. Check yourself. No tension. Through the neck, arms, and shoulders. Mouth should be open. Jaws relaxed. Everything is relaxed unless it's adding to the watts. It's not just about those arms reaching long, head and shoulders in front of the hips. That last 10% of the pivot, last 10% of the rock over, we're all good from layback to upright. We need to get past upright to get the upper body forward. Less than 2 minutes, rowers, less than 2 minutes. Nice length there, Catherine. Good work with the reach. Same thing, Jill. Looking good. Lots of space between the hips and the hands. Coming into that final minute here, coming into that last minute. As we begin to fade a little bit, we start to get into those smaller muscles more than we would like. So here's just a friendly reminder. Stay out of the neck and arms and shoulders. Grow the core. Haul through the torso. Lengthen out there, Kevin. Loosen long, tall and long. Remember, posture adds to our length there. Long levers coming into this last 30 to 40 seconds. And for one more time, let's listen to those fans, listen to the ergs, listen to the machines through these last 30 seconds. Loud, louder, loudest, catch to finish. It's all about acceleration, and we can hear it when it's done well. Listen to it. So as we finish that interval, is 28 minutes past. It's 28 minutes past. I can totally stick around for the next 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes and run this last 6-minute interval. I am all about it. So even if there's one or more of you, if there are one or more of you that want to finish out this last 6 minutes, I am good to stay. Just stay on the line if you're good. You don't even have to tell me. But if you have to get up and go to work, I understand you're going to be hitting that eject button. It's about that time. All right, we've got 90 seconds of rest before we begin our final set, just to put us behind schedule just a little bit. And we will always do our best to get out of here on time for future sessions, just so you all know that. Have a great day, Amy.
Bye, Stephen. Thank you.
Absolutely, Amanda. Have a nice day. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks,
Take care.
Stephen. Bye.
Again, we'll talk soon.
Great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hi, Stephen, will you send me that report whenever you guys get a chance? No rush.
Yes.
It's Rachel.
Yes.
I used whatever I had in ErgZone anyway. It was no big deal.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. The reports are on.
Hey, everyone.
Thanks,
You too.
Stephen.
Bye, Rachel. See you soon. Bye, Jill.
Bye-bye.
All right, for the rowers still on. For the rowers still on board. About 20 seconds. We're going to hit this up. We're going to finish up our last 6 minutes here. Keep the focus simple. Pick 1 to 2 things and just focus on that. Don't try and fix all 77 thousand things we have to think about in the rowing stroke. 77,000, random number. All right, rowers, let's go ahead. Feet strapped in. Sliding forward, picking up the handle, press the button on the erg to continue. Last 6 minutes, let's enjoy the row back to the dock. Ready, all. Rope. Nice and firm to the finish. It's not that it's aggressive, but in order to keep that acceleration coming into the body, it's going to have to be picking up speed. I almost like to think about the releases and the finishes as like sharp, firm, crisp. Not aggressive and powerful. Like we know there's a lot of power there, but we want to control that power. And as long as we keep it heavy, locked, and loaded all the way to the finish, you'll feel that pop of the release. You'll feel that send. Force to the feet always, force to the feet always. The upper body has nothing to do with starting that drive. Sort of pass the baton, if you will. From finish to rock over, it's about body prep, upper body, getting set and ready to go. From body to catch, it's about anticipating the legs taking over. Almost like we're sitting on our hamstrings as we slide forward into the catch. That's how much hip hinge, that's how much body prep we have. We're in no hurry to get to the rock over, but we're making sure we get all the way out there. Nice pivot, Catherine. Nice pivot, Catherine. Straight back into the finish there. The hand's not going up or down into the finish. Elbows relaxed there, Susan. Just sending those elbows back. If we were doing a seated row in the weight room, those elbows are going straight back behind us. Hold the knees just an extra second there, Mark. Just an extra second. Setting the body over. Out, up, and long. Out, up, and long. Relax. Bring that handle all the way into the body, all the way into the body. We want that handle to brush the body. Elbows slightly bent. Thinking about heavy elbows, thinking about heavy elbows. We're not locking the arms. We're not stiff. Elbows are slightly bent, kind of a little pointed to the floor. We're getting the length out of the shoulders and the lats by staying loose through the muscles. The shoulders should almost be out in front of the ears. We're reaching so much. The heads are nice and tall. Shoulders and lats are loose and long, loose and long. Get the lats in front of the hips. Getting the lats, the big muscles of the upper body, in front of the big muscles of the lower body. Less than 2 minutes now, rowers. This is the last 90 seconds. Sending those puddles away through this last minute. Nice drive length there, Katie, Catherine, JP. Keeping it long through these last 12 strokes. Smooth and accelerating. Stay tall, look over top of the monitor. Remember to relax the shoulders down away from the ears so I can see your neck, and shoulders in front of the ears so we can stay loose to the long. Loose to the long out of the catch. Loose and long with the arms, hips back. Last couple strokes.